Today is like a birthday and Christmas together for me as a German City Skylines player. Paradox Interactive released a German region pack and was kind enough to sponsor me for the video to show you all the new stuff that comes to the game for free and how to use it to build a typical German village, a bustling city and a German metropolis like Berlin.
Okay, let's go.
First I'll show you what content you can expect when downloading the German pack. All the assets were created by the outstanding asset creators of the community Armesto, Feinbold and Titan. The asset pack features a collection of German-inspired service and signature buildings like a typical German train station, schools and fire and police departments. We also have a huge variety of mixed housing and medium density housing buildings from levels 1 to 5 with increasingly more stories with the level progression. As usual, outstanding work, and it's crazy to me that we get all that for free. Now that we've seen what we can work with, I show you how to build a typical German city with the brand new assets but also mixed with existing stuff from the base game.
Hey, I don't get what this is about. You.
So, at first I show you how to build a typical small German village, how you can find them all over the country. As a centerpiece of the build I use a small train stop for regional rail service into the next bigger town. Of course, not all German villages have train stops, but the country is pretty well connected by them. They might not be super reliable and don't come very often, but at least they exist. Next to it, I'll build a smaller village core, where buildings are tightly packed together or even wall to wall. For that, we will use the new level 1 and 2 assets from the German pack with 2 or 3 stories max. Unfortunately, you will need mods to get that realistic feel on those curvy streets. I built the entire village with the plop the growables and move it mod to have more control over the place down buildings. Yes, it takes a lot of time, but it's also so worth it in the end. And to build somewhat good looking European cities, you can't really rely on the zoning mechanics of the game. There will always be huge gaps and 1 or 2 sides of the buildings are blank walls for that wall-to-wall building style, which is totally fine, but when the street patterns aren't perfectly rectangular, it won't look all too good in all honesty. Additionally, you also need a mod to lock the building level of the buildings. They are like every zone building in the game and will level up and change their appearance over time, which is not optimal for the small city feel. You won't find 6-story tall buildings in villages and small cities, so if you don't want to torture your citizens by not providing any services so they won't level up their buildings, there is no other solution than to use mods to prevent that. The buildings look amazing though, and with Titan, Feinbold and Armesto, the best of the best contributed to the pack. You can also use the small police station as a town hall, for example. But one thing is really missing for this little village and in the pack in general: churches. Titan has released some of the most beautiful churches in City Skylines 1, and they would add so much for that realistic city feel. Where I'm from, we have churches every couple of 100 meters, and it's a real bummer that there wasn't included one. I don't know how hard it is to transfer Cities 1 assets to CS2, but hopefully, when the asset editor is released, we will hopefully see some churches pop up on the mod side. After the core of the village is finished, I place some more low density housing and freestanding houses around it as the village slowly progresses into the countryside, so you can definitely mix up the new buildings with the existing ones. I also add 1 supermarket and some farming buildings. To detail the build and finish it off, in the end we will use surfaces to fill the gaps between the buildings and the streets. Grass and farm surfaces are also good to get more different textures to the build. Cover up everything with a lot of trees, then you will end up with a typical German village. Enjoy the build.
Surrounded by ghosts, but you're still
I hope you all like my little cozy village build at the beginning. Now, out of a little village, a big town will grow, and I always like to start my builds with setting up the rail infrastructure. It's much easier, in my opinion, to build around rail tracks than to squeeze them in afterward. But there are definitely different approaches, and every one of them has its advantages and disadvantages. So I placed down the huge vanilla rail yard at first, and after that the new main station, which looks amazing. Around the main station you will often find maintenance yards and all that kind of stuff, and it's actually crazy how much space all this rail infrastructure occupies in prime real estate locations. The huge areas often divide cities by quite a bit, and the same I wanted to recreate here. The station building looks so typically German that it's so distinct for my country that you basically can't place it in another setting. This is very good on the one hand, because the creator really did a fantastic job to catch the German feel. On the other hand, a more generic version would be also awesome to use it in other inspired builds, maybe a newer one out of the 60s or so, when the original station was destroyed in the war. But I'm extremely happy we get some more varieties for stations. You can't have enough of them, to be honest. The main station is usually placed on the edge of the old town, which was fortified with walls and trenches in previous times. Eventually they got torn down, and you will oftentimes find ring-shaped parks in their place around the old town from medieval times. This sort of ring park continues on the left and right side of the station, and the pedestrianized main shopping street starts right in front of it, so you can easily walk into the city center. You will find this setup all over the country. On the plaza in front you will also find the main tram and bus hub for the city, so the public transit is very well connected around here. The bigger the city, the bigger are also the arterial roads. Here we will also have one of the main arterial roads that run through the city and a parking structure to serve the main station. On the other side of the road the city center starts. At first we'll place down all the new service buildings like the schools and police department, for example. For the other buildings we will use the same building technique but with the level 3 and 4 assets. These have 4 stories and are ideal for a medium-sized city build. Of course they are all wall to wall, and I had to use move it by quite a bit to get everything right. The most difficult part was to get sharp edges from the road layout right, which is of course everything but straight. The build is obviously only a little detail out of the bigger picture, but I think you can get an idea of how to build with the new assets. Will you also try to recreate a European city? Let me know in the comments. We are back for the last design. This will feature a big city build, like we'll find in Berlin, the German capital city, for example. Everything is bigger here, the roads, the houses, the egos. We start off with the roads, and they are way more organized and planned than in smaller cities. I used the road builder mod here to create my very own custom road with angled parking and a stretch of green on the side for placing trees later on. Berlin is one of the greenest cities in the world, and you'll find parks and trees everywhere. We also have metros, and I'll build 2 metro lines with a transfer station in this diorama here. It's also all grade separate, of course, so it won't interfere with street traffic. That's why we have one line elevated above the wide arterial road and another one in a trench. You can find stuff like that in every bigger metropolis. Next to the transfer station will be a shopping center and also the new big department store building from the pack. The area will be filled with the level 5 zoned assets, but I will also use the same building technique as before, although I think zoning would have worked perfectly fine in this particular build here. With the pack are also coming parts of houses as props. That's perfect for detailing and extending the blocks in the backyard. You will oftentimes find several apartments deep down in the middle, far away from the next street. The same I wanted to recreate here. Lastly, we had to place some stain decals on the houses and on the ground for these extra details that make everything much more realistic or even photorealistic sometimes. As the previous build, it's only a tiny cutout of the bigger picture, but when you extend this design in all directions, you will end up with a big German city. And the new assets are a real game changer when you try to recreate that. I hope you'll like the build, and I'll get back to you for a final conclusion at the end. Enjoy the time lapse and the music.
I did all for you, 'cause you wanted me to. In your eyes I saw diamonds and skies. And I did all for you, 'cause you wanted me to. should know that I'm fed up with your lies, so don't come closer. You know you hurt me bad and I have scars. I need some time to heal, so don't come over. Don't even bother calling, just get lost. I'm fine on my own, so don't even bother to come back, 'cause I ain't done. I'm fine on my own.
Fantastic. Also, our last build is finished. I hope you got a good idea of how to use these new amazing assets. I'm so hyped for the upcoming region packs, as they provide us with much needed assets. And all of that for free. Slowly but surely CS2 is going in the right direction, and for that I wanted to thank Colossal Order and Paradox Interactive. I can't wait what the future of this game holds for us. I hope you liked the builds. If you did so, I would appreciate it if you could give the video a thumbs up. In my latest city building series, I build out one tile per episode, just like here. If that sounds interesting to you, the playlist is linked in the video description. I also wanted to thank all of my Patreons. You all help me a lot with being a full-time content creator, so please consider supporting me over there. That would mean the world to me. You also get extra perks like access to save games, of course. Thank you all so much for watching. Ciao ciao for now.